part of mine was habit.
Yeah.
Part of mine was habit and I remember as like literally I was 13 years old, right? And it's evening time. I've already had dinner, so I'm not hungry. But then the eating starts until I go to bed. Go eat chips, go eat ice cream. And it's just this constant kind of like grazing until I would go to bed. And so nobody stopped me, right? And nobody told me, hey, that's not, that's not healthy to do. And so part of it was habit. And so I just literally took that into my adult life. And that is something I absolutely have broke. And I think back on that, like, why did I do that? Because I was not, there's no way I was hungry. Like, how did I do that? It's not a judge. Well, I guess it does sound like a judgment on myself. I'm not trying to sound judgmental, but it's like, it feels so awful to do that now. And that's how I shut it down, that I know I probably felt really crappy, right? But I didn't even know it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that you said you were about 13
Mm-hmm.
or so. Yeah. So the thing that I would say to like your 13-year-old self was you were doing the best you could
Yeah.
in that moment, right? Like you were doing the best you can with what
Yep.
you had to work with as a 13-year-old girl,
Yep.
right? And so one of the antidotes to binge eating is self-compassion.
Yeah.
Well, many antidotes, but it's a big one. It's
That's
kind of
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that's
It's
a
like
big one. That's kind of
it's
a
a
hidden
big
one.
one.
Yeah.
It's a hidden one, right? It's
Yeah.
not. I always tell my clients, I'm like, look, self compassion isn't sexy. It doesn't sell,
That's so true. That's true. It's not sexy.
right? People do not come to therapy with me for self compassion, right? They're like, I want to end my binge eating.
Right.
That's what they come to therapy for.
Right.
I also have like an online course and program that has like a lot of different levels of support too, all for binge and emotional eating. And so, but no one ever signs up for my course and my group program for self compassion, but it's built into every single step
Right.
because it's one of the biggest things that rewires someone's brain.
Correct.
We have to find a
Absolutely.
new language. Absolutely. So I guess the other thing I'll say, like the difference between emotional and binge eating is control, right? It's when we're
Um,
eating with binge eating, there's lack of control.
yeah.
Just it's all over the place. And emotional eating, it's usually we know we're doing it and there's some level of control. And so I will tell my clients like binge eating kind of feels like a runaway train. Emotional eating feels like a speed bump.
Lots of speed bumps.
Lots of speed, and they can happen a lot, but it's not like deterring the whole
Right.
kind of course of your evening. And
Right.
it also does happen typically at night.
Well, because you can do it in secret then, right?
That I think that's a big part of it. And then like you were speaking about like habit earlier,
Right.
right? And that's common too, which is like I don't feel particularly stressed or anxious or upset or lonely. Why am I still eating?
Right.
And a lot of times that comes down to the neural pathways in our brain. And that they're just wired, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like as soon as I turn on the TV, my mouth immediately starts salivating for Doritos, right? Like
Yes.
like it's that wired connection,
Right. That makes
right?
sense.
That yep. And so we also have to kind of break some of those wires down. And I think one of the ways I tell my clients to do this, and I tell them, I was like, you're going to look at me like I'm disgusting. And that's okay. I'm here for that. But I'll tell them one of the best ways to break this wire, to at least kind of look at this wire differently, is at night before you decide to eat your food. I want you to decide to eat it in a different place.
Oh.
So if you're a client of mine and you're eating in front of the TV
Mm-hmm.
or in your bed, I will say, I want you to go get we'll stick with Doritos because that's what I've been using, or chips or whatever else. I'll
That's
say,
my
please
weakness.
go, right, go get your chips. And I want you to go to the bathroom and sit on the toilet and eat your Doritos.
Which I won't
That,
do.
which I won't do,
I won't
right?
do.
Or go to the backyard or go somewhere else, right?
That
And
makes
so
sense.
it just shakes things up,
Right.
right?
Because what happens is in that place of habit is mindless eating. You're not
Yeah.
even paying attention. So instead of eating, a handful of Doritos, you're eating half the bag or more because you're not
Yes.
even I'm speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for everybody else. I'm going to speak for me and my experience with it. And that's exactly what it is it's next thing I know, I look down and half the bag is gone. What happened? I didn't even
Yes.
realize I did that.
Yes, and usually like with binge eating too, where it's typically paired with some other sort of distraction.
Mm,
And so sometimes clients will have, a lot of, like they don't want to like break that connection. There's no point in binging if they can't also scroll on their phone or play a video game or watch a TV show, right? And that's where we have to understand the binge eating at a deeper level.
right.
We have to understand what it's actually trying to help that person with. And
Yeah.
so, but for my clients who are open to it, if it's more of a habit thing, they are more open to like, okay, I'll put my chips in a bowl, I'll leave my phone in the living room, and I
Yes.
will go into the backyard and I will mindfully, using techniques that, Jessica taught me, I will go and sit and eat my chips. And often that's enough to kind of break that connection and at least get some more mindfulness behind it.
Yeah. That's a great tool and it is so simple. I mean, I wish I would have thought of that because that makes complete sense that you're not just going through the same ritual, the same habit, you're breaking it. Because it kind of reminds me, this is terrible. I quit smoking cigarettes.
Hmm.
Oh gosh, it's been over 30 years. Well, probably 36 years or so, right? And when I did it, one of the things that they did, and it was, I don't even know if they're still around, it's called Smoke Enders. And you go to this class for 6 weeks. You go once a week and you go to the class. And every week you're changing the habit as well as lowering the nicotine. So, what we would do is we would find a cigarette. So, for the next week, we would find a cigarette that has a lower nicotine than the one we're currently smoking. And we had to do things like, for instance, um, like a habit obviously is smoking a cigarette right after you eat, right? We had to wait 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And so
Delaying the
and then every
urge.
week they would enlarge that time frame to where pretty soon you couldn't even, it would be an hour after you ate dinner before you could have a cigarette. And you got the nicotine level so low that at the 6 week mark, when you finally quit, it was easier than just cold turkey. Although this girl here had every single side effect, withdrawal, you name it. I had everything. But it's kind of that same mentality. It's breaking the mind, without thinking, just the habit of the cigarette, as well as the physical, in this case, the physical addiction to it as well. So that's what I was kind of thinking of is it's kind of that breaking that, doing stuff without thinking.